All right, so I was walking around down the old hot pits, the pit lane, the old group of cars that go very, very fast. They're like NASCARs, but they can turn. And I came across the old Feal Team tent where there's just a bunch of winners around these parts. I have managed here a little conversation with Mr. Simen. Simen, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I'm 26 years of age, coming from Norway, and started drifting 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
Yep.
And how did that start? Walk me through that. So 26, you started 6 years ago. You started when you're 20 before you could drink a beer? Can you drink
in Norway? You can drink a beer when you're 18. But yeah, I started when I was 19. I bought my first drift car, 19 years of age.
Okay.
And
what'd you buy?
It was a Nissan R34 Skyline.
You just went all in. You just went right.
Yeah, but actually it was an ER34, so a saloon.
Oh, really?
And
all right.
It had a 2J swap. So it was a beaten up car, rough, but it was working. Told my dad that I wanted to start drifting, and he just straight up called me stupid to buy a car that I only could take for track days and use 5 times of a year.
Yep. Now we're here.
Now we're here, 3rd year doing FD, so yeah.
There's a lot to be proud of, I feel like, right? I mean, this season's been pretty incredible. We were over at St. Louis, what was it, last month? And watching Ben Hobson, watching you, watching Odie. You guys were like a powerhouse that weekend.
Yeah, that weekend we all ended up on the podium.
That's insane.
And Ben had the perfect event, first #1 qualifier, 3 times in a row. And he got the overall win, so the perfect event for him in PROSPEC. Odie got the win in St. Louis. I did my 2nd podium with a 3rd place. Yep. So we're now sitting 5th in the championship, so that's
so
kind of unbelievable for me.
How does it feel?
Unbelievable. I could never imagining me doing that. As a matter of fact, with a new team, of course the best team, with all the help from the guys, having a proper setup to the car every time we go out. With all the new aspects to it, a new car, new team, everything is led a little bit. You have to get to know everything, but it's been the best season ever for me, so super stoked.
One thing I've always kind of wondered is because I think a lot of times when people are watching YouTube or people are on the live stream, they see one driver, they see one car, and they see that car and that driver do one thing a few times, and that's it, right? But behind the scenes, there's a lot more, I'm assuming. Talk to me about how the team kind of helps you become a better driver.
It all started, my FD experience started with me wanting to go to FD, and the long story, we first applied for PROSPEC, and then, or Pro 2 at that time, and then PROSPEC happened, and we already had the car built. So it was like down building the car again. So we talked a little bit with FD, and they said, we're more than welcome to try our luck in Pro and see where that takes us.
Sure.
But we were planned for 4 rounds. We had the budget for 4 rounds, and the team was down for 4 rounds. So we had to have a group chat with the team and see what we can do if they would be up to it, because this is not a one-man show at all. So went for it. Haven't looked back yet. Hope that I won't.
That's cool.
But yeah, answering your question, like I said, it's not a one-man sport. You need the team to just do the easy tasks as changing tires, fill up with fuel. That's if everything goes smoothly. But then you have to get the car, the trailer, the whole rig to the event. You have someone to schedule flight tickets. There's so many details. And the guys making sure that I just could sit in the car and perform the best.
So I always try to bring the sport kind of down to ground level with people that sometimes maybe romanticize it a lot, right? They make a lot of assumptions about the sport. They make a lot of assumptions because they only see, right, like the live stream and maybe what 1 or 2 announcers are talking about. In your opinion, since you jumped into it, what's been like the biggest eye-opening thing for you? What has been like, wow, I never thought I'd expect this in the sport?
There's so many things actually, because like we just want to show you what we want to show you. So you're only gonna see that. But there's so many stuff behind the scenes with the team, helping out. There's all the managing a crew like Odie does now. That's a lot.
Yeah. I'm not sure I would want that job.
No, but the way I put it was when I started doing drifting, when I got my first car, we were spending the whole summer, 2 months in the garage, wrenching on the car, making it ready for the next event. Go to the event, drive, have a blast, break something, right back to the garage, fix it, just barely in time for the next event again. So we spent the first year I did events of drifting, it was just staying in the garage. And the way I put it up is like you would have to, you have to want it so much that you're willing to sacrifice when all your friends are going on the lake, having a party, going to the movies, stuff like that. Then you have to be in the garage working on the cars and get ready for what's to come. Yeah. So there's so many things that's probably been the biggest eye-opener.
Sure.
And when I go back and we have vacation and stuff, I try to focus as much as being with friends, because our season is so hectic and I have European stuff on the side of FD as well. So it's kind of double up. So spending time with friends is very important for me.
And just like disconnecting fully.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Exactly. So that's what I did now before this event, because there's summer vacation back in Norway right now.
What'd you do?
No, we went on a boat, went to the movies.
Did everything that you just said. Drank, party, movies, all that sort of good stuff. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, but that's...
You need time to reset the brain,
it does something completely else than cars.
So I have to ask the most serious question of all then.
Yep.
What is like the official go-to drink in Norway? Like you go into a pub, this is what you get.
Well, the most common would probably be some cider or beer.
Okay.
Then you of course have all the vodka drinks. Vodka Red Bull is pretty common everywhere.
Yeah. Nothing like just kicking it up for a few extra hours by having one of those.
I'm more of a cider guy.
Okay.
But
like a cider beer?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But other than that, if I'm gonna sit down and have a drink with some buddies or friends, I really like strawberry daiquiri.
What would you say, last question I gotta ask you, you know, we've gotten to see more international drivers come to FD, yourself, there's a mountain of others, we have James Dean coming back, which has been incredible. You know, as this sport gets older, and as some more international talent comes in, what do you think is one of the things that maybe sets you apart from an American driver or American style of drifting?
I'm not sure. For me, being international or foreign is the hardest part for us is to do all the other stuff for sponsors, for example.
Gotcha.
That's kind of hard because all the people that are from here, they of course is here and have the time to play around with schedule. Every time I go to the US, it's like somewhere between 8 to 10 hours flight.
Yeah.
That might be the hardest part.
Yeah.
But
because it's a little bit of a disadvantage, you know, because you are coming in, you do have the flights, you're trying to do it all. You have to double up on a lot of things as well. So
it's just expensive, but also the time difference comes big to play.
Jet lag.
Yeah. So from here in Seattle, where we are now, it's like 9 hours time difference from back home.
Just enough to be a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you had, let's say there was a new aspiring drifter that was watching this video and they wanted to get into the sport, what's one tip that you would give them to get started?
I think it's the common answer to that everyone tells them, but I think that's the right answer to them, and that's not, don't overbuild. As boring as it sounds, seat time and spend money on tires and fuel instead of a bigger turbo, because when it comes down to it, you don't learn to drift with 1,000 horsepower. You learn with 300, 200. That's when you have to work with the car. So you learn so much more being underpowered and feel the car a little bit more and work with the car instead of letting the car work for you.
Gotcha. That's a good tip.
Yep, but also like it costs so much to do this with a 8 to 1000 horsepower car, and it breaks down sometimes. And if you just keep it easy and simple, that's sometimes the best.
I like it. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Simen.
Thank you very much for having me.
If you guys want to go check out all the stuff that he's up to, obviously we'll put all the lower thirds out there too. You can check that out as well. So thank you to the Feal team as well for hosting us. And if you guys don't know, Feal is also an official partnered brand for Torque Drift 2, so you'll be able to install the parts in the game on your car. And then if you really want to, you can actually buy Feal coilovers from Torque Motorsport website as well. And if that's not enough, if you want to be like this guy over here, you'll actually be able to drive his car in the game once it releases at the beginning of 2024, which is super exciting. So appreciate the time. If you guys have any questions for Simen, drop them below. And of course, thank you for letting me take some time out of your day.
Thank you
Good
again.
luck, sir. Kick
Thank
some
you
ass.
very much.